Welcome to this year's Wichita's Littlest Heroes Bravery Ball Fundraiser. Tonight we celebrate courage, we celebrate resilience, and most importantly, we celebrate the heroes that bring us together tonight as we look back and reflect on the impact Wichita's Littlest Heroes had in this past year. Wichita's Littlest Heroes has been serving Kansas families for more than 8 years, providing hope, help, and happiness. Through partnerships and advocacy, we provide resources, services, and experiences that make life a little easier and a lot more fun. Last year alone, 70 new heroes received their capes as we welcomed them and their family into our growing community. More than a nonprofit, we are a beacon of hope for families with children battling life-threatening medical conditions. A place where families on their own medical journey can come together for support and community.
I lost my mom. She was 31 and I was 5. So I always live in that kind of fear of what ifs. You have to be organized to be a medical parent. There's just so many doctor's appointments, so many different things that have to be ordered by different people, different companies. It's overwhelming 99.9% of the time. I'm his caregiver. So if I'm not here, I'm afraid to know what will happen. Riker was born with gastroschisis, where that's when the intestines and sometimes other organs are on the outside of the body. When Riker was born by emergency C-section, over 75% of those intestines were dead. So they cut that, and then it went from gastroschisis, which is a birth defect, to a life-threatening disease, which is short gut, is what he has, short bowel syndrome. Since Riker was born, he's lived fully off TPN. It used to be 24 hours a day, and we're down to 15. Kind of affects everything. When you have to live off TPN, it damages other organs and stuff like that.
Did they go bye-bye?
I mean, it's a challenge. We came into this world and had an idea of what we wanted to be when we grew up, and then it was completely turned around and our lives were flipped, and we got told what we were going to do for the rest of our lives. You don't understand until it's yourself, and knowing that there are the other parents out there that have that feeling too. The seclusion, like you not to be around other people, they know what the hurt feels like and the loneliness, because being in the medical world, it's a very, very lonely place. We became more than just parents that are in a Wichita's Littlest Heroes group. We've become friends, a family. When I'm at the hospital with Riker, they'll reach out, can I bring you anything? So there's a lot of things that have been extremely helpful when it comes to becoming friends and family with these people. The heroes would benefit the most from the gatherings. He was very adamant, thinking that he was the only person with a line, and that he was able to see not one but 2 other little kids that have a line. It used to be he would hide it and he was embarrassed of it. Now he kind of just owns it. So we were at a restaurant yesterday and someone even said something about steak, and said, you want to eat steak? And he's like, no, I don't eat. And he's like, what do you mean you don't eat? And he just lifted up his shirt. He said, see, I just live off a line. And I was like, I love to see that he's got to that point where he's not ashamed of his body and the things that he's been through. So, in Wichita's Littlest Heroes, I think has a huge part in that, because it's making my child feel like he can be himself and that he's not the only one that's different.
It's been an amazing year, creating memories and lifelong friendships for our hero families. 35 events were held for heroes and their families, 4 mom events, creating spaces for shared experiences, support, and camaraderie. 10 teen-only events bring together heroes and siblings, forming lifelong friendships. But we know that the battle these families face is not just emotional, it's financial too. That's why we provided $26,500 in hospital bags and snacks to the heroes and families during their visits to the hospitals. Hero families saved more than $11,000 by utilizing our medical supply closet. And $80,000 was given in financial support for medical, utility, groceries, and other bills.
We were devastated when we got the call that Erin had adrenal leukodystrophy. The endocrinologist told us she really hoped it was just an autoimmune disease and we'd be able to manage that way. And then when that came back negative, she called and told us, and it was devastating, because you do the things you're not supposed to. You read on the internet, you Google the condition, And it's scary because the first thing it says is pretty much your child is going to die. Aaron has primary adrenal insufficiency, so his brain speaks to his adrenal glands, but his adrenal glands don't talk back, and so they don't release the needed steroids he needs to survive. Corticosteroids control breathing, heart function, temperature, blood pressure. It affects all of your body systems. So Aaron also takes steroids 3 times a day.
It's a neurological condition that affects the white matter in the brain. It's kind of a silent killer if it's not caught at the right time. We actually never had to see any of the symptoms, but it's loss of vision, loss of hearing, speech, acting out.
Sometimes it's misdiagnosed as ADHD before it's diagnosed as ALD. We don't have a lot of specialists around here. We don't have an ALD specialist in the Midwest. The closest is in Minnesota. So we have a specialist in Omaha. We have our neurologist in Kansas City, and then we have our endocrinologist here in Wichita. Now we have to add Minneapolis to our road trip destinations, if you will, because that's where his specialist is for the BMT. BMT is bone marrow transplant. Aaron had one of those to stop the disease, the progression of the disease. We lived in Minneapolis for about 5 months. Aaron and I lived up there the whole time. The rest of the family would come up and visit as they could. During transplant, Wichita's Littlest Heroes gave us some financial assistance to help us pay bills and some gift cards so that we could also go grocery shopping. There's a lot of families that need that financial help because a parent can't work because they need to be with their child all the time. And so donating to this organization means the world to families, and the help is it's exponential.
Maybe a small donation, but all the small donations add up to big ones.
A heartfelt thank you to our generous donors, volunteers, and heroes who make a positive impact every day. Last year alone, our volunteers pledged more than 1,745 hours of their time, lifting spirits and sharing smiles. We thank you. Finally, to our heroes who inspire us every day. Your courage and resilience inspire and motivates us to raise awareness about the realities of our journey together. Thank you. We invite you to join us, to become a part of our mission in every way you can. Spread the word about Wichita's Littlest Heroes. Refer a hero's family. Your voice can help us reach those who need us most. With our growing family, financial support is needed now more than ever. From monthly donations to sponsored events, every bit helps. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can give hope and support to our heroes and their families. Together, we can make an impact. Thank you for being a part of our journey and reminding us that no one fights alone.